In today's video, we're going to create this pet care hero section. The first thing we're going to do is insert a frame. So I'm just going to click on F and I'm going to insert a desktop frame. I'm going to change the fill to background color. I'm just going to zoom in here and I'm going to copy this color and I'm going to change the fill of this frame to our fill color. Next, let's add a layout guide. I'm just going to add a layout and then I'm going to change it to columns. Let's change the count to 12 and the margin is going to be 120 and we have our layout. Now we can start creating our logo. So these are the elements we're going to use in our video, as well as the heading and body text. We'll go through them one by one, so don't worry. The image, I'm going to provide the link to this image, and just go ahead and use any services you're familiar with to remove the background. So I'm just going to grab this logo and I'm just going to create a copy instead of creating a new one. I'm going to change the text color to text color 1, which is just this one that is 336 times. I'm just going to paste. I'm going to paste the fill color here. So the typography is, the font is Agbalumo, the weight is regular, size is 28, and the line height is 36. So the name of our um, imaginary business that we're creating this heroes section is called Pawthentic Care, and we have this. Next, let's insert a logo, an icon rather. So I'm just going to go to iconify and I already just search for paw and you're going to get this. I'm going to select this particular one. Just search for paw or paw print, or I believe it's paw, and I'm going to change the dimensions to 30 by 30. And the selection colors, I'm going to change it to our primary color, which is this one I have labeled blue. And I'm just going to copy the, the code for the color. I'm going to select this and I'm going to change the selection colors to this really light blue color. Next, grab the logo and then grab the text, and I'm just going to bring them closer and then make it an auto layout. I'm going to make it center, and I'm going to make the gap 5 like that, and we have our logo for our business. Next, we're going to create the header, which is also going to be used to we're going to create the remaining text for our header, and it's also going to serve as a button. So this time we're going to create a button. So what I'm going to do is just, once again, let me grab a copy and I'll just bring it in the frame. I'm still going to take it out. So I'm just going to change this to button. Let me just change the text to button. The features of this, the typography, the font is open sans, the weight is regular, size is 18, the line height is 26. And once again, I'm just going to change the text color to text color 1, which is just 3 all the way. And I'm going to make it an auto layout. I'm going to make the top and bottom padding 5 and the left and right padding is going to be 20. The corner radius is going to be 10. Now that we've done that, I'm just going to zoom out and we're going to make it a component. So I'm going to use Control Alt and K. You can just use the button which is up here, and I'm going to create a variant. And this variant, and for this variant, we're going to add a fill color. So let's come down there and we'll see our button hover code, and I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to I'm going to add a fill for this one, and then I'm going to change the fill to this blue color. Once again, click on this and I'm going to add a third variant for our press state, and I'm going to come here, copy the color for the pressed state, and I'm going to select this and I'm going to change the fill color to that, and I'm going to change the text color to let me copy the code for our background color. I'm going to change the text color. So I can click on the text color, open this, and you can either use the recent colors, which is probably one of this one. I don't want to make a mistake and maybe select white or something else, but I'm just going to paste it here, and I'm going to paste that, and I'm going to change the text color to this background color that we have. So let's go to prototype, and this button, I'm going to connect the default to the next to variant 2, and I'm going to make it while hovering. It's going to be smart animate, and easing, I'm going to make the curve ease in and out, and I'm going to leave it at 300. For the next one, it's going to be while pressing, and every other setting remains the same. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to copy an instance of this, and I'm going to bring it into our frame. Let me move this here, and yeah, so I'm going to, let me make some copies first. We're going to have 5 items on our header section, so I'm just going to create more copies to match the number of um, items we're going to have. So the first text is home, the second one is services, the third one is about, fourth is book now, and finally we have contact. Now let's select all of them, make it an auto layout, make the gap 10, and I'm just going to zoom out. Let's move this frame to the edge here, select the logo, and we're going to make them an auto layout, and it's currently set to center. The spacing is auto, that's fine. Just make sure that on both sides they are on the edge. Finally, I'm going to check the spacing from the top, and I'm going to increase this. I'm going to raise this up, and I want the space from the top to our header section to be 50. And there we go, we have the spacing from the top of our frame to the header as 50, and we're done with this header section. Next, let's create the text area here. Let's grab a copy of this heading text, and the text, the font is Baloo, the weight is regular, size is 60, and the line height is 68. I'm just going to grab a copy of this. Let's change the text color to the one we've been using, and that's the dark gray color, which is just 6 times. And I'm going to change the text. Let me just copy this, and I'm going to use Ctrl Shift V so that I can maintain the same attributes as I paste. And I'm going to reduce this to like this. Let me make sure that it's on this edge, so it's just occupying 5 lines. You can just make it shorter, or you could just leave it like that. Next, I'm going to grab this text that says body text, and I'm going to grab a copy and bring it in. And the dimensions for this, the font is open sans, weight is regular, size is 24, the line height is 32. Once again, I'm just going to come here and copy this. Let me change the color of this. This time the color of this one will be 6 times, and that's text color for this second, the body text. I'm going to just paste this Ctrl Shift V, and I'm going to paste that text in. I'm just going to reduce this, and I'm going to have it at the same length as our heading text. Finally, let's grab a copy of our button, and I'm going to bring that in here, and I'm just going to make this see our services. And there we have that. We're going to have another button. This one is not going to have any interaction. We just want to show users or whoever is saying it what our buttons will look like when you click on it. So I'm just going to insert a text, and I'm going to make this book a visit. I'm going to make sure that it's the same features as our button. So open sans 18, regular 26. Yeah, that's what we have. I'm just going to change the color to make sure that it's exactly the same color, like that. And I'm going to make this an auto layout. Top and bottom spacing is 5, left and right padding is 20. And just like we did for the buttons, we're going to make the corner radius 10, like so. In this case, we're going to add a fill. So click on fill and we'll change it to our light blue color. And I'm going to close this. Select the two buttons and I'm going to make them an auto layout. I'm going to make the gap 20, like that. Next, let's select these three and make it an auto layout. And I'm going to make the gap 20. And the text is, let's set this to auto height, and let's set the height rather to hog content. And we have this. Select the header, select this text, and we're going to make the spacing between them 160. I was holding shift, so you could just come down here and then reduce the spacing to 160. Let's see what our frame looks like in the prototype view. So I'm just going to click on that and we have our hover states, and I'm going to press on the buttons and see our services, and yeah, everything looks good. Let's go back to our design so we can continue. Now we're going to build those cards that are just displaying some of the services of our business. What we're going to do next is insert some icons. So I'm just going to run one of my plugins. I'm going to run Iconify. Let's start with, okay, it's currently search. Just search for dog. Same thing. I'm going to select this icon. Let me zoom in and I'm going to bring in dog. Next, I'm going to search for bath. I'm going to select this one, bring it in, and finally I'm going to search for hospital, and I'm going to select this one and I'm going to bring it in, and I'm just going to close that. I'm going to select all three icons and I'm going to change their dimensions to 30 by 30, and we have these three icons. Let me grab this first icon here and let's go to our style guide, and this text color 3, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to copy the code for that, and I'll just select these three icons and let's just change all their colors to that color. Now we have two texts we're going to use next. We have the card heading and card body text. So the card heading is open sans, weight is semi-bold, size is 20, and the line height is 27. For the body text, we have open sans, the weight is regular, size is 16, and the line height is 22. I'm just going to grab both of them. Don't worry if I miss stating what they are. I'm going to put all these details in the description below, just in case I forget. They will be in the description below. So I'm going to bring card heading and card text, select both of them, and I'm going to change their color to this same text button. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring these two and I'm going to make them an auto layout, and we have this. Let's make this, the gap is going to be 10, like that, and I'm just going to go in and paste in our text. So I'm just going to open my notepad and I already have my text. Don't worry, once again it will be in the description. I'm just going to move this. Let me have this here. So for the heading for this, the first text is going to be grooming, and I'm just going to select this. I'm going to make this center. It's currently set. Yeah, I'm going to make that center. Let's grab the text for the next one, and I'm going to copy the text for this, and I'm going to paste this. I'm going to make the width 260, I'm going to select this to make it an auto layout. The gap for top and bottom is going to be 10. Let's add a fill color. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that. And we're going to change the fill to, once again, these are really light blue color. Let's close this. Now let's add a stroke to our design. We're going to make the width 10, and the stroke color is going to be our text color. So I'm just going to go to selection colors and select the text color we'll be using, and I'm going to paste it on the stroke color, and we've changed the stroke color. Now we're going to select this advanced stroke setting, and we're going to open this. We're going to select brush, and for the brush we're going to use hard boiled, and the direction is set to forward. Now let's change the padding for this particular um, frame. So the padding for the left and right is going to be 45, and the padding for the top and bottom is going to be 15. And we have this. I'm just going to increase this, and what we have here currently is 248. If you want to increase it, maybe round it up to 250, no worries, you can do that. Finally, let's change the corner radius to 10, and we have this card, and we can use this card to create the rest. So I'm just going to create 2 copies of this. I'm going to select this hospital icon, and I'm going to select this Ctrl Shift R to paste and replace. I'm going to copy the text for this service, and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to also copy the body text for this card, and I'm going to paste it. Let's do the same for the third card. I'm going to cut this icon, Ctrl Shift R to paste and then replace. Go back to our notepad. I'm going to copy this text, and I'm going to paste this, and finally I'm going to copy this text here, minimize, and I'm going to paste this one here as well. And we have our services card. I'm just going to select all 3 of them. I'm going to make their spacing 30, and I'm just going to group them, and I'm just going to move it till it's centered to our design. And let me just check, and yeah, we have our services card. Let's check the spacing between this text and this services card. Let's make it 245. Now we're going to work outside our frame this time. So I have this shape. I'm going to right click, go to plugins, and go to blobs, and you just move things around until you have something like this where it is wider, like it looks, will I say rectangular, where it's kind of wide, not something that looks like this. So just move the settings around. I tried something like this will do, but I really like something that looks like it's a unique shape. So just go ahead and create a blob, and then you just insert, and then you have that. But I'm going to delete this because I already have something to work with. So currently the dimensions is, just make yours 620, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to bring in a copy here and just bring one there, because we're going to use that to create our border. But to create the cutout effect of our image, we're going to work outside our frame. For this, I'm going to bring in our image. I don't need to create a copy. Let me just bring in the entire image. I'm just going to select this. Again, make your 640 and bring your image and move your image to the front. So select the vector, Control D to duplicate. So we have one at the bottom, one at the top. Select the one at the top, select the image, and then what you do is go to intersect, and then we have this image. So go to the fill options of the intersect, and then select crop, and I'm going to zoom out, and I'm holding shift down, and I'm just going to zoom into this image, and I'm going to move this Let me increase this till we have something like this. Let me make it smaller so that the dog, this corgi's tongue is also in the frame. Let me move it maybe slightly to the left. And yeah, we have this. I'm going to close this and we have this shape. Select this, just select everything so we can select the other vector. Let's change the, okay, let me select just the vector because there was conflict, and I'm going to select that blue color and we have this, and select both of these and group it, and now we have this image. What you can do, finally lock the aspect ratio so that you can, if you want to resize this, you'll be able to change the dimensions easily. This, let's bring this in to our frame like this. Next, grab this other blob. I'm going to use my right square bracket and I'm going to bring it to the front. What we're going to do with this one, we're going to add a stroke. Let's remove the fill. Let's make the stroke color that's text color 3, that is that really dark blue color, and I'm going to copy that and select this shape again. I'm going to change the stroke color to this. Let's make the weight of the line 10, and we're going to go to the advanced stroke settings. We're going to make it brush. Once again, the stroke is going to be hard boiled and the direction is going to be left. And now let's zoom in and we have this shape. Now we're just going to select these two. I'm going to bring them here. So I'm going to select both of them and I'm going to align them vertically like so. I'm going to align them, or let's move it out a bit. So we have this sort of misalignment between this stroke and our image. And let's select both of them. And once again, let's group and let's log the aspect ratio. So I will be able to resize them. But the dimensions now in total is 635 point, just make it 635. But yeah, we have this image we have this cutout effect image in our design, and now we can now add the other elements around this um, particular image. We're going to start with a line. I'm going to click on L and I'm going to just insert a line. Doesn't matter what, just put a random line there, and I'm going to make the width 60 like that. Next, we're going to make the width 9, and once again, let's change the color to that's text color 3. Let me copy this color and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to make our stroke color our dark blue color. Once again, open advanced stroke settings, select brush, and we're going to use hardboiled again. The width profile, we're going to select this one like that, and we have this. So I'm going to use Alt, create a copy, use Alt, create a second copy. And I'm just going to rotate this one slightly like this, and I'll move it like this. I'm going to rotate this one like this, and I'm going to bring it like this. So select this first line. Let's make this one 50. And for the second one, let's make it 30. And we have this random lines. I'm just going to zoom out, so I'll rotate them maybe like this. I'm going to select this one and I'm just going to I'm just randomly moving it around, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not going to specify what degrees. If you want to use exactly the same settings I'm using, that's fine, but I just want to go for something like this, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Select 3 of them and then group it, and I'm going to use Alt, create a copy of this, and I'm going to go to flip, and I'm going to, oops, let me rotate this so I can have this one pointing downward, sort of around here. Once again, there's no, don't worry about the exact dimensions. We just want to create a bit of, I just want to add some elements around our image. Next, we're going to insert some icons. I'm going to right click and I'm going to run iconify. The first thing we're going to search for is bone. So I'm going to, let me select this one and bring it in. I just want to see if it will resize. Alright, I'm going to just bring in that one. Next, I'm going to search for paw, and I will just select this one. And finally, let's search for a tennis ball. And I will choose, I'm not seeing the one I want. Let me just search for ball. Oh, here it is. And I'm just going to select this one and I'm going to bring that in. And I'm just going to close this. What we're going to do next is select these three icons. First, I'm going to change their dimensions to 60 by 60, and we have this issue where two of them are having this issue. No worries, where they have lines, I'm just going to click on them and I'm going to increase the line weight to 3, and this one, the paw as well, we're going to make it 3, and now we have very similar dimensions. If you use similar icons from similar sets, they will behave similarly, but I just randomly selected them. And I'm going to change their color. Let me select this and I'll copy the color we've been using, that dark blue color. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this here, and I've changed their colors. So first, let's grab this bone. I'm going to create a copy and I'll just bring it here like that. And I'm going to grab this paw print and I'm going to create a copy as well. And I'm going to rotate it like this, and I'm just going to bring this, rotate it like this, and I'm going to bring it around here. Create a copy of the tennis ball, and I'm going to bring it over the image at around this position. And now I'm going to grab this bone. I'm going to rotate, oops, let me rotate this like this so that we have it facing this direction. And I'm just going to move this. Grab the second ball. I'm going to rotate it as well so that we'll have maybe a bit of difference between the one on top and this one. I'm going to place it here, and finally this second paw print, let's bring it like this, and I'm going to rotate it all the way like this, and this one is going to, could even, let me just put it at the edge of the frame, or of our layout rather, and I'll just put it like that. So once again, no specific place position where you have to worry about it, just add all of them. So I'm going to select all of these elements like this, including all the icons and these lines, and we are going to group it. Let's go to our prototype to see what it looks like. And my prototype is, yeah, and this is what we have. The bone isn't supposed to be there. Sometimes it happens in Figma. It's just a glitch. Don't worry, I'll restart it and you won't see it anymore. But yeah, just go ahead and group everything, and now we can just go on and add a bit of effects to it. Alright, now we are at the final step of this tutorial. Um, there's no specific, once again, there's no specific spacing between these three. Just make sure, because your blob may be different from mine. It's just the width we're worried about. As for the height, it may vary slightly. So just kind of place it in the middle, in between this group and this header. All right, let's move on to animating this. So I'm just going to use Alt and let's create a copy. You can do it with the original, but let's just create a copy. And let me just, I'm not going to create a frame since I don't want it to interfere with our prototype. I'm just going to bring this over here so we can have some contrast while we walk. Let me change the color of this to white. I'm going to select this Control Alt key and I've made this a component. You can go ahead and use even the button if you want, but I just use the shortcut. So I'm going to create a variant. First, what I'm going to do is select this group 3 that just contains the images and the um, uh, outline or our stroke. So I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift and I'm going to increase the size of our image slightly. So I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift. The size is currently 697. Once again, it doesn't matter, just hold Alt and Shift and just create that. Let me increase the size of this so that's yeah, so we have this. What you're going to do next is select this and just move it outward a bit. Select this one as well. Let me select this, move this out a bit. Now for the ball, just rotate it slightly and bring it outward. This one as well, rotate it slightly, bring it out a little bit. Select this, rotate it slightly and just move it. Same with this one, maybe rotate in a different direction, move it to a different position, grab this bone, oops, I'm going to move this a bit to the top and once again rotate this paw print a bit and then move it outward and we have this. What we're going to do now is go to prototype, connect the default to our variant and we're going to say make this while hovering it's going to be smart animate and it's going to be ease in and out and we're going to make this, let's make this 500 for now and see how it will look like in our design. Let's zoom out and I'm just going to go to my assets or you could just make a copy direct and I'm just going to go to my created in this file and we have this group 6 or you could rename it. I'm just going to bring it in Control X, Control Shift R to paste and replace that. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our prototype view to see what our design looks like. So I'm just going to click on this and yeah, this is what we have. And if it feels like it's too fast or it's too slow or there are certain elements you don't like, you can go ahead and change it. But anyway, with that said, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.